Hey, this is Ross from Utility Belt Effects, and welcome to my new video series, Tone Secrets. Shh, it's a secret. It's a secret. Now, today's video, I'm going to be posing a theory to you guys about the 2004 touring rig that Tom DeLonge used on the road with Blink. So thanks to a Reddit user, JTG182, we have a detailed diagram, photographs, and interviews with Tom and his tech from the 2004 era that were uploaded to Reddit about 2 years ago, and I wanted to break it down a little bit because honestly I've always been kind of curious about what the different aspects of it were used for. So the rig is massive. It's a Mesa Boogie Triple Rectifier going into a 412 cab. It's a Mesa Boogie TriAxis preamplifier going into a power amp going into a 412 cab, and it's a Marshall JMP-1 preamplifier going into a power amp going into a 412 cab. So what I primarily want to talk about today is what I call the small sound. You have the fully clean sound for like the intro of What's My Age Again or I Miss You. You have the fully distorted sound, which is pretty much like 90% of the show, right? And then you have that kind of like mid sound, which is very distorted but small sounding, which is like the intro of Down. Obvious. Violence, Feeling This, it's usually like an intro or a bridge kind of sound. So what I realized is that I have a digital version of the Marshall JMP-1 preamplifier in Amplitude 5. So I decided to like open it up and just see what it sounds like, see if I could like garner some idea of what that piece of rig was being used for. Piece of rig? Piece of shit was being used for. Just to figure out what that piece of shit was being used for. And I was honestly pretty shocked at what I was hearing. So let's go into Amplitude and see what I'm talking about. Here's the stock amplifier that starts up with Amplitude. It's a JCM 800. You know, a little bit crunchy. So I'm going to load up the Marshall JMP-1 tube preamplifier that they have in here. They actually call it Brit Valve Pre. So when you load it up, here are the stock settings that turn on. As soon as I started playing that, I was like, that kind of sounds like that kind of like small sound that Tom would use for intros and bridges and breakdowns and stuff like that. There's only one knob on it, but there's buttons to change what you're controlling. So like gain, bass, middle, treble, and then there's channels, overdrive 1, 2, clean 1 and 2, and there's also a bass shift. I'm going to turn the bass shift off. I'm going to switch to overdrive 2. And I'm going to dime the mids. Gain is on 10. I'll leave it there. Bass is on 6, turn it down to 5. Treble's on 6, turn it down to 5. Presence is on 6, I'm going to turn that all the way down. Listen to this shit. I think we can get it a little bit closer even by adding an EQ at the end and just cutting off even more of the low end and the high end so it feels even more filtered and small. So I think that is pretty close. Close enough that I think that's what the Marshall JMP preamp and power amp were being used for. I think those were being used for the small sound. You know, intros, bridges, breakdowns, stuff like that. What got really interesting to me is as I was like obsessively listening to like the Camden 2004 performance specifically.
Hey, are you fucking guys comfortable sitting down, you lazy fucks?
I noticed something interesting. I noticed that the small sound doesn't actually go away when he kicks in the amplifier, the full-blown Mesa Boogie big sound. the small sound actually stays there and enhances and kind of fills out the mid-range of the Mesa Boogie. Let me show you what I mean. So here's a Mesa Boogie triple rectifier, at least an amplitude. Here's the Marshall JMP-1 preamp that we've made kind of into the small sound. And now here's both of them blended together. So you can see like the very mid-forward JMP preamp actually accents and helps fill in the kind of scoop tone of a Mesa Boogie triple rectifier. So I think that's what was actually happening, is that all the big like main distorted tones were a combination of the Mesa Boogie triple rectifier and the Marshall JMP doing that kind of small sound, but blended together with the big sound to get just like a wall of sound. Remember, Blink was only a 3-piece, so Mark's filling in all the low end, Travis's cymbals are taking up all the high end, and then the mid range is really all it's just there for the taking. So this is what I think happened, okay? And you can hear it in a couple examples, like the intro violins, you know. So the one last asterisk we have with all this is the Mesa Boogie TriAxis preamplifier. I don't really know how it fits into this rig, at least the way that I'm theorizing it was set up. The problem is it has like 5 or 6 channels that range from clean to crunch to dirty, and I don't know how it was set, and I don't know how it was blended into the rig. It could have been set clean the whole night. There could have been channel switching going on depending on the song. I do have a digital version that I found of the preamp, so I'm going to be messing around with that a little bit and see if I can tell maybe what kind of tones it was used for. So I think that wraps up this first episode of Tone Secrets. Shh, it's a secret. Let me know if you have any ideas for future episodes, or if you have any tones you want me to try to figure out, or if you know what that TriAxis was used for. That would really help me out. But yeah, in the meantime, thanks for watching and take care.